Aging isn't for the faint of heart, is it? Especially when you get into your 80s and beyond. It's a beautiful, complex stage of life, full of wisdom and memories. But let's be honest, it also comes with its own set of challenges. Things change in ways we couldn't always predict, and sometimes those changes hit us a little harder than we expected. We often hear about the golden years being all about relaxation and grandkids. And yes, that's a wonderful part of it. But there are also some deeper truths, some perhaps harsher realities, that people don't talk about quite as much. Ignoring them doesn't make them disappear. In fact, understanding them can actually make this phase of life richer, more manageable, and less surprising. There are certain aspects of living into your 80s and 90s that, if you're prepared for them, you can navigate with much more grace and resilience. It's about facing reality, not with fear, but with clear eyes and a steady heart. In this video, we're going to gently explore 6 of these realities that many seniors come to understand as they live past 80. It's not about being negative, it's about being wise. And watch to the end, because there's something we'll discuss that might genuinely surprise you about living well at this age. Let's talk about the first reality, one that can sneak up on you if you're not expecting it. And that's the surprising level of physical dependency you might face. We all hope to stay spry and independent forever. Right. And many people do maintain a good level of mobility and self-sufficiency well into their later years, which is fantastic, but for a significant number. The simple tasks they took for granted for decades, getting out of a chair, getting dressed, preparing a meal, even walking from one room to another, can become genuinely difficult. It's not just about feeling tired or a bit stiff. It can evolve into needing help, consistent help, from others. This isn't something people readily admit or even like to think about, but it's a reality for many. Imagine trying to tie your shoes when your fingers just don't work like they used to, or the effort it takes to simply stand up from the dinner table. These small things, accumulated throughout the day, can make living alone incredibly challenging. The harsh part isn't the physical limitation itself, though that's tough, but the emotional weight of losing that independence you've cherished your entire adult life. For 80, 90 years or more, you've been in charge of your own body and your own life. Suddenly, you might need your adult child, a hired caregiver, or even a neighbor to help you with personal care, moving around, or managing your home. There's a sense of vulnerability that comes with this dependency. You might feel like a burden, even if the people helping you insist you aren't. There can be a struggle with pride, a reluctance to ask for help, and a deep sadness over what feels like a loss of dignity. Understanding this reality isn't about dwelling on the negative. It's about preparing mentally and practically. It means considering things like home modifications before they become urgent. Thinking about grab bars, stair lifts, or accessible bathrooms. It means having honest conversations with your family about potential future needs and preferences. Even if they're difficult conversations, it means exploring what kind of support is available in your community, whether it's meal delivery services, transportation options, or in-home care agencies. And crucially, it means cultivating acceptance and gratitude. Acceptance that your body has limits now, and gratitude for the people who are willing and able to assist you. Leaning into help when you need it isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom and strength in adapting to changing circumstances. It's about redefining independence. Maybe it's not about doing everything yourself, but about having control over how you get things done, even if it involves others. It's about maintaining your autonomy in decision-making, even when you rely on others for physical support. This shift in physical ability often ties into the second harsh reality, the increasing social isolation that many people experience after 80. Life tends to shrink a little. Friends and peers may pass away, move closer to their own families, or become less able to get out and about themselves. Family might live far away, busy with their own lives and careers and children. Your own ability to drive or travel might decrease, making it harder to visit people or attend social gatherings. The community you built over a lifetime, through work, hobbies, clubs, or simply living in the same neighborhood, can gradually erode. Suddenly, your days might become very quiet, centered mostly around your home, with limited interaction outside of necessary appointments or brief visits. Loneliness isn't just an emotional state. It can have real impacts on your health, both mental and physical. It's linked to depression, anxiety, cognitive decline, and even weakened immune function. And it's a reality that is often hidden. People might feel embarrassed to admit how lonely they are. They don't want to seem needy or complain. But the truth is, for many people over 80, fighting off isolation becomes a significant effort. The rhythm of daily life changes. There's less structure, fewer appointments or social engagements automatically filling the calendar. Days can stretch out, feeling empty and monotonous. Recognizing this reality means being proactive about maintaining connections, even when it's hard. It means finding new ways to socialize if old ways are no longer possible. Can you use technology, video calls with family, online groups for people with similar interests? Are there local senior centers or community programs you can join? Even if you need assistance getting there, is there a way to volunteer from home or participate in phone-based social programs? It might require more effort to build new connections or maintain existing ones, but that effort is incredibly valuable. It's about intentionally building social opportunities into your week, rather than waiting for them to happen. It might be joining a book club, attending religious services, finding a walking buddy, or even just making a point to chat with the cashier at the grocery store or the mail carrier. Every little bit of human connection helps. It's also important to manage expectations. The vibrant social calendar of your earlier years might not be realistic, but finding a few meaningful connections and regular interactions is key. It's about quality over quantity. Finding those few people or groups that bring you joy and stimulation. And it's okay to feel the pang of loneliness sometimes. Acknowledge it, and then look for ways to reach out. Understanding this reality is about prioritizing connection as much as you prioritize your physical health. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity for well-being at any age. But especially when life's natural transitions can reduce opportunities for interaction. Picking up from the challenge of maintaining social connections, the third reality many people over 80 confront is a significant shift in their sense of purpose and identity. For decades, your identity might have been strongly tied to your career, raising a family, being a community leader, or pursuing specific hobbies and interests that required a certain level of energy and physical ability. Retirement often marks the first big shift. But after 80, these changes can become even more pronounced. The grandchildren you helped raise are now grown, perhaps with children of their own, requiring less of your active care. The clubs you belonged to might have folded or changed, or attending them has become too difficult. Physical limitations might prevent you from continuing beloved hobbies like gardening, painting, or playing a sport. The roles you played for so long, caregiver, provider, active volunteer, may no longer be central to your daily life. This can lead to a feeling of adriftness, a questioning of, who am I now, if the old anchors of identity have been removed, without the structure of work or the demands of active family raising. Days can feel unstructured and sometimes meaningless. The energy levels might not be there for starting big new projects or taking on demanding responsibilities. Finding new sources of purpose can be challenging when physical mobility is limited and social circles have shrunk. It's a reality that requires a conscious effort to redefine what a meaningful life looks like in this new phase. Understanding this reality encourages a different way of thinking about purpose. It's not necessarily about achieving big external goals anymore. It might be about finding meaning in smaller, everyday moments. It could be the purpose you find in maintaining your home, even with help, in connecting with family, however that's possible, in sharing your stories and wisdom with younger generations. in pursuing a quiet passion like reading, listening to music, or gentle contemplation. It might be about finding simple ways to contribute, offering a listening ear, sending a thoughtful card, or engaging in gentle acts of kindness within your immediate reach. This is where reflecting on your values and what truly matters to you becomes incredibly important. What aspects of your life have always brought you joy or satisfaction? Even beyond work or family roles, can those be adapted if you loved gardening? Perhaps you can grow a few herbs in pots on a windowsill if you enjoyed helping others. Perhaps you can volunteer to make phone calls or write letters for an organization. It requires creativity and a willingness to let go of old ideas of what a purposeful life looks like. It's about finding value in being. Rather than just doing, it's about the quality of your presence, your relationships, and your inner life. Recognizing that purpose might need to be redefined is the first step to actively seeking and finding it in this new chapter. It's about cultivating a sense of continued growth and contribution, even if on a different scale than before. This harsh reality highlights the need for internal resilience and the ability to find meaning within yourself and your immediate surroundings, rather than solely relying on external roles or activities. Now, moving to the fourth significant reality, the increasing complexity of health management. While you might have dealt with a few health issues in your younger years, after 80, it's common to be managing multiple chronic conditions simultaneously. We're talking about things like heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, osteoporosis, hearing loss, vision impairment, and more. This isn't just about taking a pill or two. It often involves a complex regimen of medications, doctor's appointments with various specialists, physical therapy, dietary restrictions, and monitoring your body's signals closely. Keeping track of everything can be overwhelming. Polypharmacy, the use of multiple medications, becomes a real concern. Understanding what each pill is for, when to take it, potential side effects, and how they interact with each other requires significant mental effort and organization. Remembering all the instructions from different doctors can be challenging. Managing appointments, transportation to those appointments, and dealing with insurance and paperwork adds another layer of complexity. For someone who is also dealing with some cognitive changes or memory issues, this can be incredibly difficult and anxiety-provoking. This reality isn't just about physical ailments. It's about the sheer mental load of managing a complex health profile. It requires diligent effort, organization, and often, help from others. It highlights the importance of having a good relationship with a primary care physician who can help coordinate care among specialists. It means potentially needing a family member or caregiver to help manage medications and appointments. Understanding this means preparing for it as much as possible. It means being proactive about managing your health in your 60s and 70s to potentially mitigate some issues later. It means being organized with your medical information, keeping lists of medications, doctors, and medical history readily available. It means not being afraid to ask questions at appointments and ensuring you understand instructions. It might also mean accepting that you might need help managing your health affairs, whether it's asking a trusted family member to come to appointments with you or hiring a patient advocate. This harsh reality emphasizes the need for a robust support system and a willingness to accept assistance in navigating the increasingly complicated healthcare landscape. It's not about being sick all the time, but about the significant amount of time, energy, and coordination required to manage multiple conditions effectively to maintain the best possible quality of life. Ignoring symptoms or letting medical management slide because it's too much trouble can have serious consequences. So recognizing this complexity is vital for staying as healthy and independent as possible for as long as possible. It's a constant balancing act of monitoring, managing, and adapting to your body's changing needs and challenges. Moving on to the fifth reality that often becomes clearer after 80, the increasing awareness and proximity of mortality. This is perhaps the most profound and perhaps the most avoided reality of late life. Throughout most of our lives, Death feels like a distant concept, something that happens to other people, usually much older people. But when you are in your 80s and 90s, and your peers, friends, and sometimes even younger family members begin to pass away more frequently, the reality of your own finitude becomes much more present. It's no longer a theoretical concept. It's something you witness more regularly. This isn't necessarily about a morbid fear of death, though that can be part of it for some. For many, it's more about the tangible signs that your time is limited. It changes your perspective. Things that seemed important might fade in significance, while things you overlooked before, like a quiet afternoon in the sun, a phone call with a loved one, or the taste of a favorite meal, take on new preciousness. There can be a sense of urgency, a desire to tie up loose ends, to mend relationships, or to ensure your affairs are in order. There's also the emotional toll of grief. Repeatedly, as you lose more people who were part of your life's fabric, the world becomes populated with more memories than with living individuals from your generation. Understanding this reality allows for a different way of living. It encourages presence, gratitude for the time you have, and a focus on what truly matters. It prompts important practical steps, like making sure your will is updated, that you have powers of attorney in place, and that your loved ones know your wishes regarding your healthcare and end-of-life care. These aren't pleasant things to think about, but having them sorted out can provide immense peace of mind, both for you and for your family. It also opens the door to reflecting on your life, finding meaning in your experiences, and perhaps engaging in spiritual practices that offer comfort and perspective. This reality underscores the preciousness of time and encourages living with intention and awareness. Appreciating each day. It's about making peace with the natural cycle of life and focusing on the quality of the remaining time, rather than fearing the inevitable end. It can be a catalyst for deeper connections and a clearer sense of what's truly important. Finally, let's touch upon the sixth reality. And this is one that is often not discussed openly enough: the potential for cognitive changes and memory loss. While not everyone over 80 experiences significant cognitive decline, the risk increases with age, and even subtle changes can be unsettling. It might start with forgetting names or appointments more often, difficulty finding the right words, or struggling with complex tasks that used to be easy. For some, it can progress to more significant conditions like dementia, which profoundly impacts memory, thinking abilities, and the capacity to live independently. The harsh part of this reality is the fear associated with losing your mental sharpness and, potentially, your sense of self. Your mind is the core of your identity, holding all your memories, knowledge, and personality. The prospect of that fading can be terrifying. It also creates significant challenges for daily life, safety, and independence. Decision-making becomes harder. Managing finances can become impossible, and navigating the world outside your home can become dangerous. This reality not only affects the individual, but also places a significant burden on family members who often step into caregiving roles. Acknowledging this reality is crucial for both preparation and proactive steps. It means being aware of the signs of cognitive change and seeking medical evaluation if you or your loved ones notice concerns. Early diagnosis, if there is an issue, can allow for interventions that might slow progression or manage symptoms, and importantly, allow time for planning for the future. It also highlights the importance of brain health throughout life. Staying mentally active, socially engaged, physically fit, and managing other health conditions can all play a role in maintaining cognitive function for as long as possible. For those already experiencing changes, this reality underscores the need for patience and adaptation. It means creating routines, using memory aids, simplifying tasks, and ensuring your living environment is safe. It means relying on trusted individuals to help manage affairs and make decisions if needed. It's about focusing on the abilities that remain and finding ways to continue engaging with life in meaningful ways. Even as cognitive function changes, it's also incredibly important to maintain dignity and respect for individuals experiencing cognitive decline, understanding that their core self is still there, even if their abilities have shifted. This reality calls for compassion, support, and practical strategies to navigate the challenges it presents, both for the individual and their support network. So, we've talked about 6 realities that many people come to understand as they live life after 80. The potential for physical dependency, the challenge of social isolation, the need to redefine purpose and identity, the complexity of health management, the increasing awareness of mortality, and the potential for cognitive changes. Now, I know some of these things sound, well, harsh. And they can be. But here's the surprise I mentioned at the beginning. The surprising truth is that understanding these realities, facing them head-on, is actually incredibly empowering. It's not about being defeatist. It's about being strategic. It's about stripping away unrealistic expectations and focusing on what truly matters and what you can control. By acknowledging the potential for physical dependency, you can put plans in place, adapt your home, and build a support network before a crisis hits. That gives you more control in the long run. By understanding the risk of isolation, you can be proactive about nurturing connections and finding new ways to engage with others, filling your life with valuable interactions. By recognizing the shift in purpose, you can actively seek and find new sources of meaning that resonate with who you are now. By accepting the complexity of health, you can build a strong healthcare team, get organized, and lean on support when needed, allowing you to manage your conditions more effectively and maintain a better quality of life. By facing the reality of mortality, you can live with more presence, ensure your wishes are known, and find peace in reflecting on your life's journey. And by being aware of the potential for cognitive changes, you can take steps to promote brain health, seek help if needed, and plan for future support, preserving your dignity and safety. The true harshness isn't in these realities themselves, but in being unprepared for them. When you understand them, you can anticipate, adapt, and approach this stage of life with resilience and grace. It's about living intentionally, making conscious choices about how you want to spend your time, who you want to spend it with, and how you want to manage your well-being. It's about appreciating the richness of the decades you've lived and finding joy and purpose in the time you have ahead. Whatever its length or challenges, it's about focusing on quality of life, connection, and inner peace. So, what has your experience been like living through or approaching your 80s? Are there realities you faced that were surprising or challenging? Share your thoughts and wisdom in the comments below. Your experience could be incredibly valuable to someone else watching this. If you found this conversation helpful, please give the video a like, as that tells us we're providing content that resonates with you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos designed to help you live your best life at every age. Thank you for watching. Remember, age is a journey, and understanding the path ahead, even its tougher parts, allows you to walk it with more confidence and peace. Live your best life, today and every day.